Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Johanna Haggman, and I'm a PhD student from the University of Helsinki. I'm doing my thesis from the claw health of dairy cattle. And today I'm going to present you some genetic correlations between different claw disorders. Little background. Claw disorders are identified as the third most costly disease in dairy farming after mastitis and infertility. Claw disorders are also a serious welfare problem because they are usually painful, can cause lameness, and they can be very long-lasting. And as many previous studies have showed, the heritabilities of claw disorders are low. And because of that, the improvement in short term can be done by improving environmental aspects. In the long term, claw health of a cow can be improved by direct selection, or it can be improved by indirect selection through other genetically correlated traits, like feet and leg conformation traits. The efficiency of selection on different claw health traits depends also on the genetic correlations between different claw disorders. In general, health traits appear to occur in clusters, and the high positive genetic correlations between health traits suggests that cows genetically susceptible to some type of health problems are more likely to be affected by other health problems as well. The aim of this study was to evaluate the correlation between different claw disorders in Finnish Ayrshire cows. Little bit about the data. The data consisted of about 117,000 observations of almost 53,000 Finnish Ayrshire cows. The cows were held in 2,033 herds, and the data was collected by claw trimmers in the field between 2003 and 2010. All the claw disorders were recorded as 0 or 1. 0 meant the absence of claw disorder, and 1 meant that the cow had that disorder. All the cows considered healthy in this study were those cows which were trimmed and no claw disorders found. The claw trimmers marked these healthy cows with a specific code. In this table, you can see the presence of claw disorder observations. And as you can see, the most common disorder is sole hemorrhage, almost 15%. And second common is white line separation. For total claw disorders in this data set, about 31%. Then the statistical analysis. Because we had some computational problems while we tried to fit multivariate model, the genetic correlations were obtained 2 at a time. We used bivariate linear mixed model. The animal model was used and the restricted maximum likelihood method with ASREM software was used. And about the model. Ear season, age at the time of trimming in months, and lactation states were treated as fixed effects. The season were divided to 4 classes, and the lactation states were divided to 8 classes. In the beginning, when we were testing fixed effects, we also used parity instead of age at the time of trimming, and we also tried to group the age at the time of trimming, but it didn't have any effect on the significance, so we left this without grouping. and herd, cloth-trimmer, animal permanent environment, and residual were treated as random effects. There were 93 cloth-trimmers in this dataset, and as said, 2,033 herds. And to results. The genetic correlations varied between minus 0.24 and 0.77. Most of the genetic correlations were positive and from moderate to high. This indicates that these disorders are genetically connected to each other, and cows which are genetically susceptible to some disorder are more likely to be affected by other disorders as well. Only the correlations between soil hemorrhage and heel horn erosion, between chronic laminitis and heel horn erosion, were negative. And the highest genetic correlations were found between soil ulcer and chronic laminitis, 0.77. In this table, you can see all the genetic correlations. The two negative correlations are colored in blue, and as you can see, they had very big standard errors. Otherwise, the correlations were from moderate to high, but between heel horn erosion and corkscrew claw, the correlation were small with big standard error also. There are only few estimates of correlations between claw disorders for red breeds in literature. Johansson et al. Presented a claw health index for Holstein and Red Dairy cattle, which was included in Nordic Total Merit Index and is routinely run in the joint genetic evaluation for Finland, Sweden, and Denmark. I used these values to compare with our estimates. So the correlations between soil ulcer and corkscrew claw and between soil ulcer and white line disease were close to those estimates Johansson et al. Found for red dairy cattle. The correlations between soil ulcer and soil hemorrhage, between corkscrew claw and soil hemorrhage, and between white line disease and soil hemorrhage were a little lower than those Johansson et al. Presented for red dairy cattle. And Johansson et al. Got a much lower genetic correlations between white line disease and corkscrew claw. It was 0.08 compared to our estimate, which was 0.39. And to conclude, most of the genetic correlations between claw disorders are favorable. The moderate or high positive genetic correlations between claw disorders indicate that these disorders are genetically connected to each other, and cows which are genetically susceptible to some disorder are more likely to be affected by other disorders as well. And thank you all for your attention. Any questions?